welcome back to another episode of We Seen It. It is I, Todix Web, Holy Shinobi, and
Jeriel, you already know what's up.
this is the recap episode for episode 3 of What If? And yes, we've seen it. Intro. Boom. All right. All right, welcome back to another episode of We Seen It, where we do recaps, we do reviews, we do podcasts only on the Mighty Sharp Network. We're joined again. You've seen this before. I, Todix Web, we got Jeriel here, and today we are reviewing the weekly release of the What If, which is the Marvel's animation Elseworld series, where they ask a question, what if? What's going on with the Marvel Universe? What could be going on with the Marvel Universe in alternate timeline? We're right off the heels of the multiverse Spider-Man trailer that dropped. So it's kind of really reinforcing that, anything is possible type.
Yep.
But we're here to get into the episode today. No Spider-Man in this episode, but I think there is in the next one. Don't quote me. But yeah, how do you like this episode so far, Jeriel?
That's a great question, honestly. I actually did like it. I liked a lot of things about it. I don't want to spoil a lot, but it's definitely darker than the other episodes that we've seen.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely. So it's definitely dark. But overall, I looked at it again and I actually liked it. I did. I liked it pretty. Okay. Yeah.
So for those who haven't seen this episode, this episode, it doesn't really ask a big question like the other ones did, but essentially, to summarize it, it goes back a week before the Avengers were assembled, and in this universe, the Avengers all are like mysteriously murdered, and we don't know why. But Black Widow and Hawkeye are being framed for the murders of the Avengers, but we don't know, how that happened. And they kind of go through all the various movies that apparently happened in 1 week, I guess. Yeah. Iron Man 2, Thor 1, and the Incredible Hulk movie apparently all happened in the same week somehow. I don't know how that works, but yes. And then, certain characters, appeared because certain characters died. And yeah, so we'll get into it in more detail in a bit. My initial reaction, I did not like this episode a lot. Definitely my least favorite so far.
Yeah.
I feel like interest for this episode definitely dropped significantly. I would say it wasn't as fun as the other ones. They didn't really ask a big what if. It was just like, okay, there's a murder mystery that honestly is impossible to solve. Like there is no lead up to anything, honestly. Personally was not my favorite. Not the best work, I have to say. So I don't know. Do we spoil it right away, or?
That's a good question. But before we do, it kind of does ask a what if. I guess this what if slant is, what if Earth's mightiest heroes never came to be?
I guess
that's the slant that they were trying to take.
Okay.
Yeah. So I mean, it kind of works, but I know what you mean though.
Well, yeah, there's no like solid like big ask like what if, like the first one is like what if Captain never got the super soldier serum? Yeah. What if Star-Lord never got abducted by aliens? Those are like big questions with like big consequences. And in this one, there is no, I don't know. There's not a big enough of a hook for this one. I'm hoping So I guess this is a recap episode. So I mean, spoilers ahead from this point on. So basically, how the story goes is we start with that one famous scene from Iron Man 2 where Tony's on the top of the Randy's donut. We actually went there. Me and Jeriel took a trip to California. It's been like 2 years ago. We went to that. I'm pretty sure we went to that exact one. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, back in 2019.
Yeah. So he's on top of the donut, and Nick Fury, introduces him to, the Avengers Initiative. When they really drive, they really beat the dead horse with that. There was an idea like, oh my gosh, I'm annoyed.
Yeah,
I know Sam Jackson must have been annoyed having to say that over and over and over again.
yeah.
Yeah, and then there's Black Widow, who isn't played by Scarlett Johansson
Oh,
in this one at all. It's a completely different voice actress, which is not weird at all. Um, if you remember in the first Iron Man's got this like tech virus going on.
mhm.
And I forgot this happened. Apparently, she like injects him in the neck with some sort of stabilizer to keep
I
him
forgot
going.
too.
I totally forgot that happened. But instead of it stabilizing him, it kills him, and that's unexpected. And now what it looks like is that Black Widow is being tried for the murder of Tony Stark, and wow, that's supposed to be a big moment, I guess. And it cuts to the Thor movie,
Yeah,
right, where Thor's hammer. Me and Joel saw that movie together, actually, by the way,
yeah,
in 3D. Um, so it comes with a Thor movie where you see Agent Coulson. I was glad to have Coulson back. That was
yeah.
awesome. The same dude who voices him is the same dude who acts in
Oh,
it. And in that one, Thor, he's breaking into the Shield facility to find his hammer, right? And we don't get to see, whether or not he picks it up or not, because boom. So that's also because that's the introduction of Hawkeye ever in the MCU.
yeah.
Is that Thor movie? That was very. I don't know why I was so excited to see Hawkeye, but I was. Yeah, I mean, because it was like the first, like, oh, we're getting into like the nitty gritty of some B list characters.
Yeah, yeah,
It
yeah.
was a big deal when Thor dropped, and yeah, Hawkeye he aims for the shot, he doesn't take the shot, but someone else takes an arrow and it kills Thor. I don't know how you can kill Thor with an
Well,
arrow.
well. So when Thor came to Earth, remember his godly powers were gone. He was
Okay.
a human temporarily.
All right, sure. I don't know about all
Just
that, but
he's a
okay.
human at peak level,
Okay.
build. That's
Okay.
all.
Okay, sure. Let's go with that. Let's go. So let's just say Thor isn't bulletproof without his hammer.
Or arrow proof.
Or arrow proof. Okay. So Thor, he then also dies, and now it's like, what in the world? And we clearly see a Hawkeye didn't do it. Yeah, and then Hawkeye gets locked up. He's also framed for murder of Thor, and we never even got to meet Thor. Formally, Nick Fury didn't.
Yeah.
And then Black Widow is, I believe, on the run now because she's being arrested and she fights all the Shield guys and Frank Grillo. Actually, she never fights. She never fights Frank Grillo. She never fights Crossbones. But it's good to see Frank Grillo's Crossbones back from like
Yeah.
Avengers 2 and was it Avengers 2? No, it
No,
was
I think it was Captain America.
it was Winter Soldier.
Yeah, Winter Soldier. Yeah.
But we also saw him in Civil War.
Civil
Yeah,
War.
because no,
Yeah, yeah,
because they
yeah.
fight in Nigeria, but he like blows himself up or something.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. You're right.
Yes. So yeah, we see him again, same voice and everything. That is, it was cool. It was cool. I mean, I would have loved to see a fight between them, but no, she breaks out because where does she go? She goes to find Betty Ross. Haven't seen her in a long time. I forgot that movie existed with Ed. It's weird because that's an Ed Norton movie,
It
but
is.
it's voiced by Mark Ruffalo, who is now the new Thor. But yeah, so
I kind of got a fun fact on that. So I did a little bit of research.
oh
So
yeah,
yeah, so Betty Ross, how she's dressed, if you look at the scene, like she
yeah,
has like the white, you know, I don't know what it's called, like a doctor's outfit,
yeah.
whatever. And that's apparently whatever she was wearing in the animated series was exactly what she was wearing in that particular film, in the Ed
Inter-
Norton Incredible
Interesting.
Hulk. Yeah.
Interesting. Okay. Okay. So I see they're trying to keep it. I really did not like this episode at all. This episode was. I won't say it's trash, but that episode was not. It was
It,
not fun at
yeah, it
all.
wasn't.
Oh my gosh, it was a chore to get through. Yeah, but Black Widow. She goes to uh, Betty Ross, because they need to find the Hulk, and so they've concluded that everybody on the Avengers Initiative roster who Nick Fury was going to recruit is being targeted at this point.
Yeah.
So, boom, all these people are dead. We have to find Hulk because she's afraid that they're going to try to kill Hulk next. Somehow, Agent General Ross Thunderbolt pulls up, and now the military is fighting. And this episode was so bad. Oh my gosh. And the Hulk, he got shot somehow, but it wasn't by one of the army men with Ross Thunderbolt or whatever. He turned to the Hulk, and the Hulk is fighting because that's what the Hulk does.
Yeah.
We see the Black Widow jumps 3 stories somehow and does I guess is the trademark
head flip or hair flip, whatever.
No, not the head flip. It's the pose. It's like the
Oh yeah.
I guess that's supposed to be her trademark move, but would I trademark this right before she dies? I don't. Okay, cool. I did not like this episode at all. So yeah, she's like, he's still alive because the Hulk. He can't kill the Hulk, but the Hulk then dies in the most grotesque. That was. Ew.
Yeah, I did not like that scene at all. At all.
He died in the most grotesque way, like, possible. Like, I would have never thought that that's how that was gonna go down.
Me neither.
Yeah, because I was like, well, Betsy Ross is like, she can't die. It's impossible. I'm like, I'm with you. I don't understand how. And you're like, oh, this can't get any worse. And then we cut back to the Thor movie that's apparently happening at the same time. And Loki pulls up because we can't have enough Loki in 2021.
Yeah.
Played by, the masterful Tom Hiddleston again. Yeah. In voice form now. We can never get rid of this man. And he's pulling up because apparently news travels fast in Asgard. And he found out that Thor died. And he's going to kill the whole world because of his brother. Cool. And you see the little destroyer guy from the first Thor movie in the background. Guess that's cool.
That was pretty cool. I have to say that.
It was cool. I mean, it's a cool detail. I guess like you would weaponize it for this in this situation. So Loki comes to Earth like a whole it's like 2 movies early. I feel like so he's coming to Earth. And he's like, I'm going to destroy the world. And Nick Fury's like, hold up. We can make a deal. We're looking for the guy who's killing all of our men. And they killed your guy, blah, 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 blah. So now Loki's like, all right. So you guys have till sundown. Was it to sundown of the next day? 24 hours.
I think, yeah. It was
to find
like
the killer. So now Nick Fury's in a real bind here because everyone's getting killed off. He's going to the list. And Black Widow she's doing her spy hacker things, and Agent Coulson he gets his information. I did not like this episode at all. Oh my gosh. So she finds out some information, and she's before she's murdered, I think, right? She yells over the phone. It's all about hope, Nick. It's all about hope, and like. I was already spoiled by this episode before I started it. Like, I knew who the bad guy was. So I was like, okay, this is the biggest eye roll ever. Cool. Whatever. So the end of the episode, right? This is near the end somehow. Nick Fury strikes his deal with Loki, and they're at the graveyard of Hope Van Dyne, who, if you don't know, is the wife of Hank Pym, the original Ant-Man. Not Scott Lang, which is the Paul Rudd version, the old guy. And for some reason, Hank Pym pulls up in his, I guess he's the Yellow Jacket now.
Well, I mean, I did a little bit of research again. Okay. In the comics, he is the first wearer of the Yellow Jacket outfit.
I mean, yeah. Yes, that's technically true. It's it's just weird.
Yeah, it was definitely weird.
It's just yeah, you're not wrong. He definitely he was Ant-Man, he was Yellow Jacket, and he's Goliath. This is true. This is true. In the yes, but here it's just weird. And he goes on this giant monologue about how Shield killed his wife, but his wife was just a Shield operative. I guess his daughter's dead too.
Yeah, she died as well.
Oh no.
No. So Hope is the daughter.
Yes, that is
That's
true.
what it is. Hope is the daughter.
You're right. Janet Ben died,
Yeah.
and Wasp, the original Wasp, already died, and apparently Hope is died as well. So we'll never get the Ant-Man movie in this universe. Man, sure, okay. And I guess it goes. There's a confrontation between him and Nick Fury, and then it gets in the most ridiculous fight ever. I this man, this was I was. Yep, that happened. There's a fight. As soon as I saw that, like this backflip from Nick Fury, I'm like, my suspension of belief was out.
I immediately knew that it was not Nick Fury fighting. When I started seeing, not when he blocked the first couple of attacks, I was like, okay, that's possible, maybe probable, maybe.
Yeah.
But then when he started doing backflips and doing all this stuff, I was like, wait a minute.
It was a backflips that like tipped me off, but I couldn't. I was like, okay, maybe this Nick Fury just has the juice.
Got the superhero serum.
Maybe he got the serum. Who knows? It was when he did something else. Like he like deflected something that it's not possible for him to do. I can't remember what, but he did something. I was like, okay. And then he starts like being extremely fast. I'm like, okay, this is who I think this is. Pulling a joke. Yeah. And then spoiler alert, it's actually Loki who got him to admit to his crimes.
Yep.
Yeah, that's it. So this episode is just bad because the pacing is weird, and they're trying to make you believe this all happened in the span of a week or would have. It's just not a good episode. I mean, that's it. I mean, in the end, is like Loki. He takes the killer back to Asgard, and then he's like, you know what? I'm gonna extend my stay at Earth. Maybe Earth is okay. And then Loki is now like they stole, and so it's a scene from Black Panther at the end where they go to the U.S. Embassy, and he's like, "We're opening up our secrets in our technology," but Loki's like, "Nope, we're just gonna take over the world. We are president of Earth now." And that's kind of the end. So he takes over the world in this one. I don't know. Okay, here's why it's weird. Because this one, the first two are following a pattern with like, okay, we get a new type of superhero at the end. And then you've seen trailers and stuff where, okay, these are all going to culminate to like this new version of the Ultimate Avengers somehow. This one just doesn't do that. I thought that's the other thing. So they bring up the fact that Nick Fury could have always called Captain Marvel.
This is true.
He's got the little pager thing from the 90s, and then also just doesn't do it.
Well, I mean, you got to understand, I don't think he thought the threat was big enough. Like the whole Avenger initiative was when, you've heard in his speech, when the fight that we can't, fight for ourselves, basically.
Right.
So he didn't obviously think that the battle or the fight was enough.
Apparently, he thought he could buy himself some time, and he did. Great. I just thought it was just weird that, okay, Captain Marvel then just shows up at the end again. Because in this one universe, like, I guess, so the Peggy Carter thing didn't happen.
Right.
In this one.
Yeah.
Steve is still in a block of ice, but she comes at the end of this episode after everything else happens. And that's it. Like I said, this episode was weird. This episode was weak. It was a weak episode. I
kind of agree with you. So it was more like almost like a filler episode type thing.
It feels definitely like a filler episode.
Yeah,
okay.
I'm thinking also this. I think we're thinking like each episode is going to align, like you said, have an alternate Avengers. I was thinking that too, but based on the third episode, it seems like every episode there's like a different alternative.
Right.
world that they're showing.
But I've seen like there's a Hyundai commercial if you look at it where it's got Captain Carter and then Star Lord T'Challa. So it had like I think there's an episode that like it builds towards it. I think, but there's probably these other also like just pure standalone episode what
Yeah.
ifs. But this one is just weak because it doesn't offer a question. The other one's offered it was a definitive question with an outcome. Like there's a Marvel Zombies episode. That's just what if they all got hit by a Marvel what a zombie virus. That's okay. Then what would happen? Like there was nothing. Like it was just like this is a Marvel filler movie. That's a filler movie within filler movies. Wasn't a big fan of it. Yeah.
I mean,
Um.
I hear you. Well, when I said in the beginning that I liked it, I like certain things of it. So
Uh,
I like certain scenes that they brought back to refresh you on just in case you forgot. Like for instance, the iconic Iron Man in a donut scene,
yeah.
or even I like some of the incredible shots. Maybe because I looked a little bit more in detail, just seeing the detail that they put in it.
Sure.
You know, a little bit of the Thor, it brings you back. Some of the lines were exactly verbatim, you
Yeah.
know, to get you that feel. But I
Usually voice
mean,
actors. So
yeah, voice
yeah.
actors were the same. They said the same lines.
I mean, except for like Tony Stark
Well,
and
because he
Captain
died.
Marvel. And no, I mean, no, but he has lines. He says, I don't want to join your super, super boy band.
Yeah. You're right. Yeah.
It's not so Tony Stark doesn't do the voice for what's his name?
Robert.
Shit. I've talked about this man for the past 4 weeks. Robert Downey Jr. does not do the voice for Iron Man. Scarlett Johansson does not do the voice for Black Widow, and she may never do all the lawsuits.
This is true.
Who else? Captain Marvel is voiced by Brie Larson.
Yeah.
So there's that, but Mark Ruffalo is the voice of the Hulk, but it's Ed Norton's Bruce Banner. This episode has a lot of problems, and I'm not rocking with it. It's just not like and I don't know, man.
I mean, I know what they wanted to do. What they wanted to do is they wanted to make a mysterious whodunit. You know,
Sure.
We've seen the murder mysteries all the time, and they wanted to incorporate it in the Marvel.
Sure.
Just what if, Marvel's Avengers never came to be? I know that's what their narrative was, and it's weak. It's a weak narrative.
Because they could have tried harder. I mean, there's a cool story in there, but Ant-Man, Hank Pym is the bad guy. But I mean, and then one of them doesn't even make any sense. It's like, why would you kill Thor? You want to recruit him in the heartbeat. I mean, yeah, but you don't know that. And how are you on top of this? Like, that's what I don't get. Because Thor's not on the list. Thor is not on that list. There's no way Thor's on the Avengers Initiative list.
That's a good point.
If he crash lands on there. In the movie, he crash lands on the Earth, so there's no way Nick Fury could have scouted him. So, no. This is what is it? It's not enough for me, dog.
Yeah, I hear you, and I have another concern. So I have a concern of how Hulk died. We didn't really hit it.
That was absolutely disgusting.
So if you don't know, spoiler alert, he blows up, and this is how he blows up. Apparently, when he's dealing with what's the guy's name? I can't think.
Ross Thunderbolt.
Yeah, Ross Thunderbolt. When he's dealing with them, it's getting hostile or whatever, but he's keeping his cool. But apparently a stray bullet, it's not one of the soldiers though who fires it. It hits Bruce Banner. And of course he's going to turn to the Hulk, and he does. Yeah. But apparently the bullet or whoever was in the bullet was Hank Pym.
Right.
Got inside of his body.
Hank Pym, he has the power to shrink. That's his whole thing. If
exactly.
Don't know. Okay, go ahead.
And what he did was he threw a Pym particle at Hulk's heart.
Is that what happened?
Dude, yes. And he enlarges his heart.
Ew.
And made his heart get like really big, and then eventually he blows up because apparently the blood is pumping too much blood in Hulk's muscular build.
Ew. Okay.
But I mean, it doesn't make sense because
I thought he got big and blew up. I was not paying that much attention. Ew, is that what happened?
Dude, yeah, he literally threw a Pym particle at his heart.
Right.
And Hulk gets bigger the stronger, or he gets stronger or whatever. And he already has like this massive growth
So he just
hormone anyway.
and he just blows up in this green slime. I guess they can't show blood on TV.
It's Disney still.
Or maybe it was the blood, but it was green. It looked like the end of like a Nickelodeon like Kids Choice Award, where it's
Talking about the
just
slime.
yes. I was like, what is going on? I don't know. It was grotesque.
Yeah.
Not a fan of that. Yeah, I mean, in a fight where there's a fight where she has to fight a bunch of guards to get out of prison
Yeah.
in a truck. It was okay. Like it was okay. There wasn't anything that was just like stand out. Oh man, this is cool. This is the definitive cool thing about this episode. I didn't really like it. Not really. Yeah, not trying to be too negative. Actually, no. This episode deserves criticism. Not a fan. Not a fan of it at all. Doesn't pass the vibe check for me.
Yeah, I've seen a lot of reviews on it too. A lot of people did not like the episode for the same reason, and for just like they said, Hank Pym's how he was killing the Avengers didn't really make sense because his beef is with Nick Fury. They said he should have just went after Nick Fury
because Nick Fury doesn't even have emotional attachments to these people yet.
That's true.
His whole point was to kill people he cared about. So, why wouldn't you just kill Hawkeye and Black Widow first if that's what you're trying to do? Yeah. Also, if the what if is just what if Hope dies, I guess that's what the what if is. But it's so inverted. We don't even care. No one cares about. Okay. I'm going record. I did not like the Ant-Man and Wasp movie. The second one. The first one was cool, but I did not like the second one at all. It was boring. It was
okay.
I don't really care for Hope Van Dyne that much, but I mean, her outfit's cool and the powers are cool, but it's not on my top list of concerns because they didn't really develop these characters enough. Not a lot of the Marvel leads are just developed good enough, in my personal opinion. So it's just like, okay, maybe that's why they couldn't market it that way. Because that's the what if. Because she doesn't. They're suggesting that if nothing else, if everything just stayed the same in this version, Hope just dies and gets recruited by Shield. But that's the thing. There's no catalyst to it, right? The other two had a catalyst to it. The aliens made a mistake and picked up T'Challa, and then Peggy stays in the the chamber and she gets transformed. This one has no like initial catalyst to the moment. So this one was weak. It is weak.
It was. I'll give you that.
It's weak for me. But there's like 6 more episodes. So, we'll see. It's fine. Like, not everyone has to be a banger. I guess it would be nice if they were. You have any closing thoughts, Jeriel?
I got one closing thought, and it is something I've already said. How does Hulk die? We can go back to an Infinity War where he has the Infinity Gauntlet.
This is true.
The power of all the Infinity Stones and uses it. Now, these aren't just random stones. These are forged in this universe millions and millions of years ago.
This is true.
And he literally yields this power and uses it.
Yeah.
And it burns half of his body, but he survives. And you're telling me that he can't survive a massive heart attack?
I'm assuming that it is a heart attack.
That makes no sense.
I'm assuming the logic is that Hulk can't be destroyed by any external means, but if you were to blow up his organs on the inside, sure. But even with that, I don't get how he'd externally explode.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. This episode wasn't the greatest of all time, folks, as you can see by our glowing review. But stay tuned. Next week, there's another episode, and hopefully it's got to be better than this one.
It's got to be.
It's got to be. Thank you guys again for watching. We've seen it. It's been Tyler Webb. It's been Jeriel, only on the Mighty Sharp Network. Yeah, we'll be in a much better mood for the next one. We can almost promise you that.
Yeah.
So stay tuned for that. Peace out, everybody.